Good morning. I have another unboxing. This big old package. Here it is. Oberon's Calling, The Birth of Nick Jones by Keith McIntosh. Here's a summary. Lucien Malum is a junior executive for the research and development wing of the corporation's megastructure, which is safely nestled inside Olympus Mons on Mars. He has been slowly climbing the corporate ladder for well over a century. Since becoming the assistant director of the Special Projects Division, Lucien has been secretly searching for a very special piece of ancient technology, a hyper-advanced fighter craft. He's not the only one looking for it. The Council is a group of century-old superhumans who have guided human expansion since humanity was forced. The Council, a group of century-old superhumans who have guided human expansion since humanity was forced into the stars. They're also looking for the craft as well as the remains of their fallen comrade. When this craft is discovered on Jupiter's ice moon Europa, the resulting covert struggle for control over the ship and what remains of its pilot will change one man's life forever. I'm excited to read this. I love the book cover. So I'm gonna read it and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm back with a review for Oberon's Calling by Keith McIntosh. My overall thoughts for the book, which I guess would be my overall summary, was I really loved it. Now, a warning, it does have mature content and language. Mature content as in violence, some gore, along those lines. There aren't any spicy scenes, which is appreciated. The story as a whole is really well crafted. I found myself thinking about this book all the time while I was reading it, what the characters were doing, what would happen next, and the level of detail that this goes into, whether it's the science side, diving into the characters' thoughts, descriptions, absolutely amazing. They are detailed, and this book is smart. I feel like this is what science fiction books should be. Science fiction books aren't as loved as fantasy, as in, a lot more people enjoy fantasy than science fiction, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe because they like dragons. But there could be dragons in science fiction. I don't know. Personally, I've always loved them equally, so much so that my own books border between the two. But this is hard sci-fi, and I love it down to the nanobots in Eve's body. The entire environment, the lifestyle these people live, the things they believe, the things they talk about. I highlighted something. Anyway, it's something like they weren't obligated to think they were obligated to work or something. And I don't know, that just hit home. I think it was chapter 3 that had me almost crying. Anytime you put a little child in the mix, I probably bawl. It follows 3 characters. We got Nikolai, I think is how you say his name. We follow Eve, and we follow Lucien. I love Nick's character, Nikolai. The extent at which he's willing to risk his life for his little girl is admirable, and that is the reason I almost cried. I was like, the only reason it would take this long to describe his trip home is because something's about to go wrong, and it did. But anyway, that's the beginning, so it's fine. I love him. I love his change. I love how he is toward the end. Moving on to Eve, who is basically a god. Not really. She just has lived a long time because of this alien tech in her head. Although we shouldn't aspire to be like her, she is a great character. And I will say, Keith McIntosh does an amazing job at giving characters flaws and still making you love them. Eve is one of those really nice examples. And moving on to Lucien, our resident villain, who I can't help but love. Not because he's a villain, not because morally gray stuff, but because he's so well done. I can't hate him. He is smart, creative, and clever, and he knows what he has. He knows the strings he can pull to get what he wants. These characters are really amazing, and it looks like there's a possibility of a book 2, which would be really interesting to see because so much happens in this, so much. It's pretty thick, you see it? It's pretty thick. This is like 426 pages. Oh yeah, it's thick. It's a thick boy, and it's really, really good. I really recommend this. Those are my overall thoughts. There was a lot to talk about, but those are my overall thoughts because it's a very dense, not hard to read, but there's just so much that happens, and it's so easy to follow along. And another thing, the action scenes are amazing, so detailed, and you just keep up with them and you are on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's great. I guess that was my overall thoughts and my favorite takeaways rolled up in one, so I'll just move on to the next point. Criticisms I have is I wish there wasn't so much mature language. That's me. I don't appreciate some words in there, but that's also me and what I believe and what I stand for, I guess. I don't like those words, I don't appreciate them, but yeah, I don't like pushing that on people. But I just don't like it. Overall rating, I gave it 5 stars because the story is amazing and the things that happen inside of it, I don't know. It's really good. I highly recommend it, very much so. Especially if you like science fiction, this. If you like science fiction, you gotta pick this up. I have read another one of Keith McIntosh's books, which you might have seen on my channel, called Ronin of the Dead. Also very good. Action is amazing, amazingly written. I definitely will be picking up more of these in the future because I'm really enjoying his writing style. So I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Oberon's Calling. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.